our radar map. I'm going to take you back to live radar. So the West Liberty area and down by Tremont City is where we have the most activity. This is moving to the east pretty much at 35 miles per hour. So I put our storm tracker on to give you an idea of the timing that we are looking at with this system as it moves at 35 miles per hour. Bear with me here. All right, so Mechanicsburg will get this at 6:49, Marysville at 7:06, Jerome Township at 7:24, Delaware at 7:32, and the city of Columbus, the downtown area, could see this before 8 o'clock, probably about a quarter to around 7:45, 7:47. We'll take that off the map here. We're going to put this into motion for you as well. We'll zoom out a little bit closer. As we are going to see a few different storms throughout the area. We have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings as well. So to our west, that's where we have the most severe threat for tornadic activity that'll be moving into Union and Madison counties momentarily. But if you're down to our south, we have some strong storms that are capable of producing a tornado as well. This one down by Laurelville that's coming out of Frankfort, that is a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15. Just 7 miles west of Kingston is where this storm was located. It has the capability of producing quarter-size hail and wind gusts of 60 miles per hour. That one is also moving east a little bit faster at about 40 miles per hour. So as we put our tracker on here, that'll be moving into Logan before 8 o'clock. I'm going to take that off because we have another severe thunderstorm warning as well. That is going to be just north of that area. So let's zoom out a little bit closer. This one is just clipping the northern part of Lancaster into Buckeye Lake. That severe thunderstorm warning from Pickerington up towards Buckeye Lake until 7:30. That one is also moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Once again, the possibility of seeing winds gusting at around 60 miles per hour with penny-size hail. Now around the downtown area, light rain as we speak, but as we zoom out of our radar, we are going to look over to our west. So that tornado warning has now expanded into the far northwestern part of Madison County and into the far southwestern part of Union County towards Marysville. That tornado warning is what we're keeping a very close eye on. Some circulation started to develop in northeast Champaign County. So that is why this new tornado warning has been issued. We'll zoom in closer. We're usually looking for a little radar hook, but what we have been seeing is some bright shades of red and green on our velocity map, which we're going to get to right now for you. So you can see that that is off to the west of North Lewisburg, where we have some of that rotation. The tornado warning, once again, radar indicated at this point up by North Lewisburg, but to our south, parts of Miami County had a confirmed tornado in Tip City. We saw that earlier. You can see this viewer photo that was put out on social media by Micah Whitworth, where there's that funnel cloud in the distance. So that was a confirmed tornado in that area.
We do have a new tornado warning for Fayette County.
Okay. Mackenzie just updating me that the National Weather Service is now posting a tornado warning for Clinton, Fayette, and Highland counties until 7:15. So we're going to get back to our radar map and show you what we're tracking there. You can see it flashing on your screen. That indicates a brand new warning that we have. So that one that's pushing through Wilmington, that severe storm is capable of producing a tornado. We'll put the live look on right here with our wind speed map. And we do have a little bit of light rotation off towards New Vienna, just to the northwest of that area. So we could see some rotation rolling through there. No confirmed reports of a touchdown, but if you're in New Vienna, you need to find your safe space. So finding a safe space during a tornado can vary for folks. If you are on a one-level home or in a one-level home, you want to find the interior part of your home. So that could be a closet with no windows. If you have a basement, that is going to be the best area. If you're on the first floor of a building, if you have a bike helmet, you want to use that as well. Those are going to be the safest methods as these storms are rolling through. Severe thunderstorm warning has also been issued for Fairfield and Licking counties until 7:30. We're tracking this tornado watch until 10. I'm going to take you back to live radar where we have warnings popping all across central Ohio. So let's zoom in off to our west right now with the one that is just approaching the Marysville area. That is a tornado warning that we want to give you an update on. So that is until 7:15 for Champaign, Logan, and Madison and Union counties. We also have had the one that is coming off of Miami County, just to the east of Springfield. We'll give you an update on that. That is now pushed into parts of Clark County until 7:15. We did have a confirmed tornado in Tip City. I just showed you that photo. I also want you to take a look at some video that we're just getting into the 10 TV newsroom. If we can take a look at that video from Tip City. This is that funnel cloud off in the distance. So that is also from the same viewer that we showed that photo, the still photo, Micah. You can see that funnel cloud that had touched down in Tip City. Still trying to wait to see what kind of strength tornado that was, but nonetheless, we saw debris on our velocity map that was coming in to indicate that that was shooting some of the debris up into the air. Now, Mackenzie, I know you were following the National Weather Service, some of the damage throughout that area, and correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't there a roof that was also pulled off in that Tip City area off of Meyer?
We did, yeah. We saw some confirmation of roof damage to a Meyer in the Tip City area, and that's where we saw a little bit of that debris ball where we pulled up on our radar earlier this evening. So that system is known for causing some damage and also causing that damage to be lifted aloft and wrapped up in that tornado. And we're just continuing to see this system push off to the east. So we have seen some damage from that. It also caused some damage, I know, just to the west of that and a few other areas. But now we're continuing to see that tornado warning, and the National Weather Service also just continued that as well. That confirmation that we're still seeing some tight rotation within that.
Yeah, so I've been scrubbing our velocity map here, taking you back just about 15 minutes or so from Moorfield, pushing to the east. And this is what we've been following. So that's the rotation that was pushing through, coming off of Tip City, just north of Springfield. I'm going to zoom back up to the north Lewisburg, and scrub that back about 15 minutes, where you can see from just south of West Liberty heading towards Mingo, where we have some of that rotation that is now going to be heading towards North Lewisburg. But once again, if you're not in that tornado warning, we have a tornado watch until 10 o'clock tonight. Live radar, though, showing several severe thunderstorm warnings that continue to pop. I will take you to the newest tornado warning down to our southeast, just north of Hillsborough into New Vienna. That one is for that cell that is up towards Wilmington. Putting our velocity map back on, some light rotation in the New Vienna area, but live radar indicating some heavy rain. That is pushing to the east. That warning until 7:15. We'll zoom back out, and I want to give you updates on the severe thunderstorm warnings, because these are very strong storms that could also produce a tornado. So for those that are between Chillicothe and Circleville, for Fairfield, Hawking, Pickaway, Ross counties, severe thunderstorm was located just about 7 miles west of Kingston. That's moving east at 70 miles per hour. So you will anticipate some very strong, damaging wind gusts up to about 60 miles per hour, and the possibility of some quarter-sized hail. If you're a little bit farther north of that, maybe north of Lancaster, that is where we have a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:30. That's going to be clipping parts of northeastern Fairfield and Licking counties until 7:30. Winds could be gusting at about 60 miles per hour. That's also moving east at 40 miles per hour. So we're going to put the tracker on both of these storms and give you an idea of when they're going to move into your area. So this one tracking towards Nelsonville, hitting Nelsonville at 7:50, but Laurel will see this around 7:22, Logan at 7:36. Going to take that off and give you a tracker of the next system that's up just northeast of that area, the one that is in Fairfield and Licking counties. That one also moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour. So as we put the tracker on there for you, we'll start to see that in New Concord at 7:14, Cambridge at 7:24, and Millwood at 7:51. We want to take a look at the sky conditions right now. So if we can take a look at the ODOT camera, I believe this is I-70 east, I-70 just east of State Route 142 in western Franklin County. Some rain that's coming down at the moment. So this is all just to the west of Franklin County at the moment. But the worst of this has been well west, just towards Clark County and west into Miami County. Let's take a look at Skyview, and we'll get your radar resituated here. But Skyview shows some ominous clouds clouds over the downtown area at this time. So you want to be weather aware and make sure that you are going inside at the moment, as we have several different warnings that are popping at the moment.
And that's the thing, Ashley. I think we're seeing a lot of these systems just off to the west of us. So if you're in Franklin County right now, you may not have that warned cell near you, but it's something that you just want to remain weather aware throughout the rest of the evening, because we are seeing these systems stay together and we're seeing them move along pretty quickly. So if you're just to the east of a few of these cities, I'd say Chillicothe, Circleville, Waverly, I'd say go ahead and go inside already, because not only do we see a few of those severe thunderstorm warnings around your area, but we're also just keeping an eye on a few of those stronger systems just off to your west, like that tornado warning that is just north of the Hillsborough area. Again, a lot of these are, we've seen a lot of these systems with confirmation of a tornado or at least some type of damage. So we are looking at some pretty strong systems. So again, if you're here in Franklin County or any of our surrounding counties thinking you're in the clear, you know, just a little bit of a crummy day, you still want to be weather aware, know where that safe place is.
Absolutely. And as I'm looking at the National Weather Service posts here, we're getting reports from one of the spotters that a large tree was uprooted and fell onto a car in the Lancaster area. So that is that severe thunderstorm warning that you see between Circleville and Chillicothe. That is capable of producing very strong wind gusts, one in which that knocked over a large tree, uprooted it, in fact. So even if you're not under a tornado warning, these are very strong to severe storms that are rolling through the area. We'll put our velocity map back on, because that's really what's going to tell us where we have the strongest rotation in some of the areas off to our west that are moving east. So that's going to be moving closer to our core area here. But in New Vienna, looks like that rotation still rather weak as we're looking at the red and the green. I'll put live radar back on. So that is mainly just north of New Vienna into Highland Station, but the rotation's kind of on the tail end of that. We don't see a strong hook echo with that system. We'll put our wind map back on, because we have a couple more areas where we were following some rotation just to the north of there. So let's zoom out just a little bit here to see if we can see any of that. So a lot of that is starting, I think, to dissipate up to the northwest here. Let's look. Live radar still. So the Springfield area still has that tornado warning until 7:15. And
it does seem like they backed off of parts of the tornado warning for Logan, Ohio. So if you're listening in your safe spot in Logan, Ohio, that threat has now left your area. Would it be a bad idea to stay there for a few more moments longer as we continue to see that cell move off to the east? But we are seeing Logan, Ohio now in the clear from that tornado warning.
Yeah, so the one that had a really tight signature that was just north of South Vienna, that one seems to be weakening a little bit, but still some weak rotation that's crossing State Route 54. So that is pushing to the east, just north of I-70 along State Route 54. That'll be pushing eastward just south of Mechanicsburg and eventually making its way closer to West Jeff. We'll put live radar back on as we have another tornado warning that is just to the north of there. So let's go ahead and take you a little bit farther north to North Lewisburg, closer to Unionville, and we'll have a closer look and see what kind of rotation we're looking at. So that one in North Lewisburg seems to be our tightest rotation at the moment. We'll zoom in closer for those of you at home, just so you can see exactly what we're looking at here. This is in the Woodstock area, just west of Milford Center. I want to zoom in even closer to give you a better street level view there. So this is going to be approaching State Route 559, and you can see it inching closer to North Lewisburg, right along State Route 245. So that's the street level view for you. We could have even some debris that's being picked up into that specific velocity map there. But live radar showing that it's the tail end of that rain. So even if the rain is pushed through, we still are looking at some rotation on the back end of that storm cell. Then as you go to our southeast, that's where we have several severe thunderstorm warnings that continue to fire up. So in Laurelville, you're getting some heavy rain. I don't even think I have the lightning here on the map. As we put the lightning on, look at all the lightning towards Lancaster, New Lex, heading into Blue Rock, going into Muskingum County. I'll take that back off so you can see the areas that you see that are shaded in gray. That's indicative of very heavy rain or possible hail that's coming down. National Weather Service saying that they're still keeping a close eye on rotation in New Vienna. So we were just looking at that moments ago with these tornado warnings that have been popping off to our west. So once again, the tornado warning that has some rotation is just in the New Vienna area. So that is going to be southwest of Washington Courthouse. We'll put our velocity map back on for you. And so some of that rotation getting close to Highland Station along State Route 28. We'll scrub back for about 15 minutes so you can see what we're talking about here with that rotation. So watch how that red and green starts to really become bright and flare up as it pushes into New Vienna. That's where we could see some funnel clouds or a potential touchdown of a tornado.
And that's where one of the spotters were saying that it does look like a bit of that rotation is lowering, not something we want to see because that if it does touch the ground, that is a confirmed tornado, but we are seeing that rotation in the area.
All right, let's take you a little farther north where we have a couple more tornado warnings. So this one now east of Springfield. This is pushing into our viewing area, so this does clip let's see here, parts of northeastern Clark County. This is just located 7 miles east of Springfield, moving east at about 35 miles per hour. We'll put this storm tracker on this particular cell. We'll zoom in a little bit closer as we are going to track just how quickly this is going to get towards West Jeff and some of the other cities like Hilliard. So this will be moving towards Hilliard before 8 o'clock. So you'll probably actually see this within the next half hour or so. Let me take that off the map for you. And we'll zoom out a little bit so you can get a better view of what we are tracking there. So some rotation up towards North Lewisburg and then just east of Springfield, but that's going to be moving well into Union and Madison County. So if you are in your safe spot in Union and Madison counties, you want to stay there for a little while as we continue to track these storms.
And speaking of, I want to take you to Clark County because we are seeing reports of that circulation weaken some. So it's very likely that the National Weather Service will let that tornado warning expire. Still want to watch the area, especially circulation northeast of Champaign County. But we're going to let that warning go a little bit longer, so they're going to keep an eye on that. But if you are in that area, Clark County, just keep listening to us. We'll let you know when that tornado warning officially expires, when it's safe to come out of your safe spot. But it does seem like we are seeing a little bit of weakening in that cell.
And that's great news to hear that it's weakening, but nonetheless, we still have some heavy rain, rumbles of thunder getting close to Marysville. So let's look at our ODOT camera in the Marysville area to see what kind of conditions we are tracking over there, if we can get that popped up along with our live radar. All right, we're working on getting that up for you, but we do have some heavy rain. There you go. You can see some rain coming down at the moment. It looks like that camera could be shaking just a little bit. So the winds are going to be rather gusty in that area. We know that winds could gust up to 60 miles per hour. Here's the deal with how these tornadoes form. So sometimes when we give you a tornado warning like we have off to the west, even though it's weakening, we call those radar indicated rotation. Doesn't always make it to the surface, but you have the surface winds that are pushing in one direction, and then you have some stronger upper level winds. You then get a rotating column of air, and with some thunderstorm updrafts, you then watch that column of air push more so into a vertical position. That creates a wall cloud. That rotating column of air will continue to build downward, and if it doesn't reach the ground, then we say that we've seen a funnel cloud. But if it does, that's a confirmed tornado, which we saw in Tip City earlier. So this is a look at a photo that we had from Micah. We saw some video earlier from Micah as well of the confirmed tornado that was in Tip City. That's in Miami County, that was off to our west. This is the same system that's pushing eastward. And we even have more tornado warnings that are popping west of the state line just to the northeast of Muncie. So we're not done with the strong storms as we speak. But the bulk of the activity is south of I-70 with the severe thunderstorm warnings. We do have that one tornado warning that is down to our southwest, and a new one now that is just popping into the northeast. Let's go ahead and take a look at that video that came out of Tip City just a little while ago. And that is the confirmed tornado that was in Tip City. You can see it there off in the distance. Usually we have to have the National Weather Service send their survey crews out there, whether it would be this evening or the next day, to tell us what kind of tornado that was as far as the strength, what EF strength that would be. But the Clark County one that we have been following just now has expired. So that's the good news. So hopefully you won't be seeing that kind of footage coming out of Clark County. Let's get back to live radar, where we have several different warnings as we speak. So we do have a couple, though, that are going to be pushing to our east. Mackenzie, any other updates with any kind of damage?
We haven't seen any other damage reports just of yet, but kind of to give you a little bit of a look back on what we've seen so far, we just saw video of that Tip County tornado, Tip City tornado. That was possible of producing some damage in that area. There were reports of a car tipped over, also some damage to some homes in the area, and then also in Troy, Ohio, there was some damage to a Meyer building. The roof was torn off. Still waiting to see some photos from there. I'm sure the National Weather Service will be checking on that as we head into the day tomorrow. Other kinds of damage reports that we've been seeing. We've also seen, I know, a few reports up in the Lancaster area, I believe it was.
Looks like we have a new tornado warning that just came in. So this is encompassing parts of Union County. Let's give you the latest update coming out of the National Weather Service. No surprise, and this is also going to clip, excuse me, parts of Delaware County until 7:30. So this is the same cell that we have been tracking moving in from the west. This was located right near Marysville, moving east at about 40 miles per hour. So the locations that are impacted include the city of Delaware, Marysville, Powell, Milford City, also parts of Warrensburg, Watkins, and State Route 257 at US Route 36. So if you are in that area, you want to take shelter immediately. Let's put our velocity map on to see if we can see some strong rotation in that area. Right now, it just appears as if it's really gusty winds. I don't know if you can see anything.
There's a little bit of broad rotation.
Yeah,
on the
just
back
the west
half.
of Marysville.
Yeah, just the west of Marysville. Again, probably a lot of this not really reaching the surface yet.
Right.
And I know if we do take one of our ODOT cameras here, if you wouldn't mind, this is close to the Marysville area, and you can kind of see a little bit of that shelf cloud. Again, we'd have to keep an eye on this for any types of rotation, and not really seeing that within this live video, but that is the area where we are seeing that tornado warning.
Yeah, so that rotation, that weak rotation that we are following, which is likely why they triggered this tornado warning, is close to Pottersburg right now, very close to US 33, and that's going to be pushing eastward towards Marysville. Let's zoom out a little bit more. You can see the brighter shades of red towards Marysville would indicate some maybe strong winds pushing through right now, but this is the newest tornado warning that we have. I will move this over just a little bit so you can see how this is stretching just to the tip of Delaware. So it does move into Delaware County. Probably just getting some light rain at the moment in Delaware, but the heaviest rain with this system would be in Marysville and Leesburg. Something else to take note, because we do have some heavy rain with these storms that are rolling through that have been tornado warned. If you have a tornado wrapped, or I should say a rain wrapped tornado, those are harder to see. So if the rain is coming down at a heavy pace and there's rotation, you might not see a clear cut funnel cloud like you saw from Micah out of Tip City.
We are getting reports that that tornado warning for Champaign, Madison, and Union has expired. So if you're in the Champaign, Madison, Union County, you can you come back out from that safe spot. We now are seeing that tornado warning expire. I know it'll take a few minutes for that to expire within our system, but we are now seeing some clearing in that area.
That's great news. I also want to point out, though, just to the west of Clark and Champaign County, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that pops. So even though you can come out of your safe space from the tornado warning, you still want to be very weather aware, because you could have another strong storm rolling through in which you might have to go back into your safe place. So stay with our team as we're giving you this live nonstop coverage. Let's travel to our southeast while we're gathering some more information on that tornado warning, since it's radar indicated and we don't have reports of a touchdown right now into Delaware County. But it's down to our southeast, just between Circleville and Chillicothe, we still have that severe thunderstorm warning for about 5 more minutes. You can see some heavy rain. That's going to eventually be pushing into Good Hope. We have other severe thunderstorm warnings that are impacting just east of Lancaster into New Lexington and pushing off towards Blue Rock. So this one that is just east of Lancaster is for Fairfield County until 7:45. This is capable of producing quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. That is moving to the east at 30 miles per hour. If we take a look just east of there, just south of Zanesville and Muskingum County, another severe thunderstorm warning until 7:15. We'll clear that information off your map. We're going to take you back to our west, because this is where we have the most severe threat at the moment, from Marysville pushing towards Delaware. That is where we have the tornado warning until 7:30. So you need to find the most interior part of your home or the lowest floor of whatever building you are in, to make sure that you are in the safest place, as this particular storm, even though it's radar indicated right now, has had a history of producing tornadoes off to our west.
And Ashley, if you want to put a little bit of a track on that, we can kind of time that out for some of the folks at home, especially being a little bit closer to the Marysville area. We're seeing a little bit of that weak rotation on the back half of it. So North Lewisburg, just to the east of you, we are seeing a little bit of that weak rotation. Again, that's what we're going to be watching out for. So if we continue to put a line on this cell, that'll keep moving closer towards the Delaware area right around 7:28 this evening. Sunbury a bit closer to you right around 7:52, and then closer towards Fredericktown as we head into the 8 o'clock hour. And again, this system has that tornado warning associated with it. We'll have to see if that continues up as we make our way over the next few hours, but they are continuing that tornado warning for that area.
And if you're not in that particular area, well, guess what? We have a tornado watch for all of central Ohio. This stretches from Indiana off to Marietta until 10 o'clock tonight. That means that our atmospheric conditions are ripe for tornadoes to form. The ingredients are there. So let's differentiate between a tornado warning and a tornado watch if you are just joining us. So a watch means to watch out. Conditions are favorable for development. Warning means take action, that severe storms are imminent. They're occurring. You want to seek shelter in an interior room and away from windows. So we have both of these situations going on right now. All of central Ohio under that tornado watch, but we are following tornado warnings that are off to our west. And we have a new tornado warning that just came in south of I-70, and this is going to be just to the northeast of Chillicothe in the Laurelville area, pushing towards Nelsonville. So let's gather new information on this. I'll put the current radar on, and we will bring you more information on this tornado warning that now encompasses Hawking, Pickaway, and Ross counties. This one until 8 o'clock tonight. This one's moving to the east at 40 miles per hour. It's radar indicated rotation, so it's a strong storm capable of producing a tornado. This is going to impact Logan, Nelsonville, Kingston, the Hocking Hills State Park, Laurelville, and also into Union Furnace as well. So these are the areas to our southeast that are under the tornado warning. I'm going to take that off the map so we can put a tracker on for you. Once again, I said this is moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour. So this cell, let's put the eastern motion at about 40 miles per hour. And that pushes into Logan at 7:26, Salt Lick at 7:37, 7:49 Nelsonville, York at 7:52, and the Plains at 8:05.
And Ashley, we were watching this. This was a severe thunderstorm warning throughout most of the evening, the past couple hours, and we were talking that there was a little bit of that weak rotation within that, and we're continuing to see, and obviously that's something the National Weather Service picked up on. And you know, if they are not seeing that rotation reach the ground lower, we are seeing a lot of damaging winds, especially just south of the Laurelville area, really kind of that tightening of that rotation that we're seeing a little bit on our velocity map. You could see that right there.
Yeah, I'm going to circle it on the screen so people can see exactly what we're talking about. So this is the area right here that is possible, that has the capabilities of producing a tornado as there is some tight circulation on our velocity map. Now, the radar sweep is in the upper atmosphere, so sometimes this is mid-level rotation in which you can see what we would call a wall cloud or a funnel cloud, depending on what the situation is. But as that gets brighter, that would indicate stronger circulation, and if we were to see maybe a bright white ball, that would indicate a debris ball that has touched the ground. So if you are in that area by Laurelville, you want to find a safe place. That's going to be the most interior part of your home with no windows or the lowest level of your home. Let's look at what was the one confirmed tornado that we do have so far this evening. It came out of Tip City. This is another look at that photo that came in from Micah Whitworth out of Tip City in Miami County. We'll also look at the video as we have the same exact viewer that also took video of this. So Mackenzie, I'm going to let you talk over that real quickly.
Yeah, there it is to the right of your screen. This is the video from Micah. This is of the confirmed tornado out of Tip City. We continue to see this push off to the west. And this did show some damage in the Tip City area. I know possible buildings and also damage to a car. Right now, we want to talk about kind of the different ratings when it comes to tornadoes. So if we could pop that graphic up, we can show you what that means. We'll have that here in a second. Just to kind of update you, we still have that tornado warning. The National Weather Service did up that and continued that for Delaware and Union County. That'll be until 7:30, so make sure you stay with us and stay in that safe space until 7:30. Again, there's a thunderstorm thunderstorm possible of producing a tornado. And speaking of, here are kind of the different levels when it comes to those tornadoes. We have that EF scale 0 through about 5, and 5 getting in that 3, 4, and 5 range. It's very rare to have those here in the Central Ohio region. Typically we see these right around 0, 1, and 2, but still could produce wind speeds an EF 0 up to 85 miles per hour, and EF 1 could produce wind speeds 86 to 81, and then we get into that strong range in EF 2 where we could see wind speeds of 111 up to 135 miles per hour, and that's something we won't know the damage of until the National Weather Service gets out there and kind of assesses that damage. Speaking of the possibility, there was the possibility of a tornado down near Sardinia, Ohio. I know that's a little bit out of our viewing area off to the south and west, but the National Weather Service does have a confirmed tornado located over Sardinia, moving to the east at 45 miles per hour. I want to bring you back into our area. Ashley, I know you're keeping an eye on that one in Delaware and Union.
Yeah, so they just updated that polygon. So we still have the tornado warning for Delaware and Union counties until 7:30, and that was located just over Marysville, the severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. It's moving east at about 35 miles per hour. So let's start by looking at our velocity map. Then I'm going to put the tracker on for you if you're just joining us, so you can see how this times out. But right now, the weak rotation really appears to be maybe just to the northeast of Leesburg, or just east of Leesburg, with maybe gustier winds towards Ostrander and into Delaware. But let's put our live radar back on where this was moving eastward, and we will put our tracker on for you if you are in the Delaware area. So let me get that tracker there for you. So moving to the east.
Yeah, and I think while we're doing that, let's take a, let's do this
yeah,
first.
So if you're in Delaware City, 7:30, and even in Delaware, 7:32, Sunbury at about 8:15. Now, I'm sorry, what kind of video do we have that we were able to
we're able to, that ODOT camera.
Okay, so yeah, let's look at that ODOT camera. So, this is just north of Marysville, so in the area that we are tracking the possible tornado with a tornado warning and very ominous clouds, wet roadways there. You can see the camera shaking a little bit too, so I believe that the winds have to be rather gusty, but that's US 33 that we're looking at in the Marysville area.
And just kind of on the cusp of that polygon, so you know, thankfully I'd say in the next hour or so we'll continue to see that shift off to the east. So Marysville, you still want to be in that safe space, you still want to be tuning into us because you're still in that polygon of that tornado warning. We're continuing to watch that, even though it does seem like that rotation continues to fall apart, and we're seeing that system continue to move off to the east.
Yes, so I put this in a motion for you so you can see that eastward motion. Once again, moving east at about 30-35 miles per hour is what we have been tracking. So that's the tornado warning that we have now, but I would be remiss to not mention from Chillicothe through Laurelville into Logan is where we have another tornado warning that, of course, we want to bring you up to speed on. That's moving to the east as well, the heart of that pushing through Laurelville. And so this is encompassing Hawking County, southeastern Pickaway County, into the northeastern part of Ross County. Our velocity map, let's see if we can see any kind of tight rotation here. So there is some rotation just to the southeast of Laurelville. We'll zoom in a little bit closer to show you what we are tracking there. So this is in the Haines area. Jimtown moving into South Bloomingville is where we are tracking the rotation east of State Route 327. So that is why there's that tornado warning in that area. Looking here, so for Adams and Highland, Ohio, confirmed tornado was located near Belfast, moving east at 45 miles per hour. So that's even south of there. All right. Zooming out a little bit more. So, I mean, we are looking at, just this popping all over. It's kind of like popcorn, Mackenzie. We have different storms popping left and right, to the north, to the south, to the west. So you definitely want to be using, your best judgment here and taking shelter if you start to hear some rumbles of thunder moving your way, because there is a very strong severe threat with all these storms that are popping.
And even out behind it, I know we have a few tornado warnings in the area. If we look just off to the west, north of Dayton, we're continuing to see that severe thunderstorm warning. So Ashley's been mentioning, even though you may have some clearing within your area, it's still not exactly safe to come out of that area, or at least make sure you have some way to get watches, alerts to your phone, because we still have that severe threat, and that tornado watch is set to expire at 10 o'clock this evening. So we still have about 3 hours to go where we have the potential to see these strong storms, these systems that could produce a possible tornado, which we are seeing with a few of those warnings across our area.
Yeah, I'm going to zoom out real quickly. I was trying to look this. So I believe this is the tornado warning down to our south, which we were talking about, off into Adams and Highland counties where there was a confirmed tornado. Mackenzie mentioned it in the Sardinia area, and I believe that's probably the same tornado that was confirmed near Belfast, and that was moving east at about 45 miles per hour. So this storm will be pushing closer to Waverly. Let's go ahead and put our tracker on there. It's been moving east about 45 miles per hour. So right now pushing into the Hillsborough area, but as it moves towards Waverly, this is the timeline that we're looking at. Peebles at 7:38 and Waverly at 8:08 when that storm rolls through. But that's just one of many severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings that we are tracking. So we're kind of regroup here, because if you're just joining us, I want to show you the statewide map of what we're following. So you got to kind of bear with us depending on where you're at, because we want to give updates for every storm that we have here on the map. There's just so many at this hour. Let's zoom in to the one that is south of Columbus for the tornado warning and even a severe thunderstorm warning, down into the Nelsonville area, just to the northeast of Chillicothe. This tornado warning, once again, until 8 o'clock for Hocking, Pickaway, and Ross counties. A lot of lightning with this storm, some heavy rain. So even if the rotation doesn't make it to the surface to be a confirmed tornado, we could see some damage coming out of the lightning and the gusty winds that is with this system. We will take, let me just move this out of your way so I can put the storm tracker on. It's not letting me move that little thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this on, moving to the east. At 40 miles per hour. That's going to push into Nelsonville at 7:40 and Chester Hill at 8:09. That is just one of the tornado warnings that we are following.
And we are seeing now the tornado warning in Delaware and Union County is now expired. So they're changing that over to a severe thunderstorm warning. So that tornado warning for Delaware and Union County is now expiring. It'll just be a severe thunderstorm warning. Still very damaging winds and also the possibility of some hail.
Yeah, so this is the area she was just talking about, and that severe thunderstorm warning will also include parts of Marion and Morrow counties until 8 o'clock this evening. So that's moving east at about 35 miles per hour. So that's going to push into Mount Gilead and Mount Vernon. But they will be expiring, as she mentioned, the one that's encompassing Marysville into Delaware County. So even though you see that red polygon on the map, we are looking at that weakening and just turning into a severe thunderstorm warning. But nonetheless, we still could be tracking some damage into that area. We'll zoom back out. And so our main threat right now across central Ohio is going to be down towards Logan in the Hocking Hills region. All right, so we're approaching the 7:30 half hour, and this is a time where a lot of people are on the roads coming home from work, and so you might want to get a hold of a loved one if you can, especially if they're going to be driving through these areas that are storm warned or tornado warned, and you can share this information with them, what to do if you're in a car. You want to seek shelter in a building or underground, but if you're caught in extreme winds and debris, you park the car out of traffic. You want to stay in your car with your seatbelt on. Put your head down below the windows and cover your head with your hands. If you happen to have a coat, which you probably won't today because it's warm, but if you had a coat or a blanket, you want to cover up with that. Only leave the car if you can safely get to a low level part of the road. So also, if you're in a home, which you likely are if you're watching us right now, this is where you want to go if you are caught up in one of these active tornadoes. You go to a basement or the smallest center room. You're going to stay away from any windows and you cover yourself. So if you have pillows, you can cover yourself with pillows. If you have a bike helmet, might sound silly, but that's going to be the best way to protect your head from flying debris if a tornado was to rip through your home. So these are all safe practices for those that could be caught up in a tornado.
And we're now seeing the National Weather Service cancel that tornado warning for Pickaway and Ross County. Pickaway and Ross County, that tornado warning has expired. It does seem like they are subbing that with a severe thunderstorm warning.
Okay, so we're starting to see this weaken a little bit, but nonetheless, a lot of lightning on the map. So even though you still see that polygon in red up towards Marysville and Delaware, that one is going to be expiring as we got word from the National Weather Service. But I am reading through, let's see, they're continuing. All right, they're continuing the tornado warning for Hocking, Ohio. So even though they're expiring the part for Pickaway and Ross, this one down by Logan into Hocking County, that's what's going to be continued as, I'm sorry, I'm reading some stuff coming on the National Weather Service. A confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located in thunderstorms right near Hocking Hills State Park, moving east at 30 miles per hour. So we're going to stay on this right now. Other parts of central Ohio have some severe thunderstorm warnings. So you want to make sure that you're safe. But this is the biggest severe threat that we have at this hour. Tornado warning. A confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado is located in a thunderstorm in Hocking Hills State Park. Debris has been showing up in southern Hocking County on radar. So let's go ahead and take a look at the velocity map here. And bright shades of red that you can see down towards Laurelville. Mackenzie, if I could have you kind of drive radar, I'm going to hop in the map here just to point out to the people here what we are looking at. So this is the area of tight rotation that we are tracking where there has been a confirmed tornado on the ground. So with our radar map, we're looking at this close to South Bloomingville along State Route 56. This has been an area that came off of Ross and Pickaway counties that was storm warned, but now we still have the tornado warning. Now, our radar map showing just a little bit of rotation here, but we are getting reports of that on the ground from the National Weather Service. So if you have friends or loved ones that are in the Hocking Hills region, try to get a hold of them immediately and make sure they take shelter, as this is going to continue to push to the east with that particular tornado that is on the ground.
And that is from the National Weather Service. So that is confirmed if you are within this sweep that you're seeing. So South Bloomingville, even stretching off to the east, you want to make sure that you are in your safe place as we are continuing this tornado warning with a confirmed extremely dangerous tornado that is located in that area. And it does seem like they are seeing some debris. And Ashley, keep in mind this area has so many trees and all that dense foliage.
Yeah, I know this is more of a rural area, but yeah, a ton of trees in the area that will likely see a lot of those snap. This is going to be moving towards Vinton County. So coming off of Hocking County into Vinton County, but you can see possibly some large hail, or that could even be some debris that's being picked up on radar, but a very strong, dangerous tornado that is down into Hocking County. Take shelter immediately if you are in Hocking County. You want to get into the most interior part of your home or the lowest level of your home. This is going to be possibly the strongest rotation that we have seen so far this evening. We've had confirmed tornadoes in other areas down in the southern part of Ohio and even off to our west in Miami County earlier this evening. As we put our tracker on, though, this will be moving into Nelsonville at 8:26, Murray City at 8:38. So this is the area just east of Laurelville that has some strong rotation, heavy rain, and with the heavy rain comes a different kind of threat. When you don't have a lot of rain with these storms, you can see a funnel cloud off in the distance. But when you have heavy rain with the thunderstorm and an embedded tornado in that, if it's a rain-wrapped tornado, it's going to be hard to see the rotation because the rain is coming down at such a heavy pace. So this is the rotation that we're looking at right now, off towards the Laurelville area that's going to move to the east. I have a feeling, Mackenzie, because this is so far from the radar site, we're not seeing the tight shades of green with the red just because of the location of where this tornado is compared to the Wilmington radar. But we can see some very strong winds that is right in the area of what the National Weather Service is tracking with a confirmed tornado at this time.
And I'm going to turn on to see if there's any debris located with that. And when you see those bright pops of color, typically they're bright yellow and white, it is possible that we are seeing a bit of debris. I know that some of our National Weather Service did mention that they have it showing up on their radar, and we are seeing some of those bright colors just south of the Bloomingville area. So it is possible that we are seeing some of the debris, possibly the trees in that area get picked up and wrapped in that tornado warned cell.
All right, if we could put live radar back on, I want to just recap everything that we are tracking right now, because we have this tornado warning down to our southeast in Hocking County, really impacting Hocking Hills State Park. But we do have the severe thunderstorm warning up towards Delaware. That was a tornado warning that was pushing into Union County and Delaware County that was downgraded to severe thunderstorm warning. But this is also pushing from Marion into Delaware. What I want to point out with this, you can see this cell, how it's starting to bow out. When you get in the apex of the bow, this is where the strongest winds are going to be, right where that bows out to a point by US 42. So when we put this tracker on, moving towards Mount Vernon, this is going to push into Delaware at 7:32. So even though we don't have rotation with this storm, we have strong straight line winds that can cause damage just like a tornado would. This is going to push into Mount Gilead at 7:45 and Chesterville at 7:58. Sometimes you get these strong strong wind gusts before the rain arrives. So don't be fooled if the rain's not in your area. You could have some of the damaging winds coming ahead of that line of showers and storms that rolls through. But once again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning for Marion down into Delaware. And this is only one area that we're tracking that has severe threat. Right now, we have some heavy rain coming down towards Mount Vernon. But as we go down to our southeast, that is where we have a couple more severe thunderstorm warnings that are popping just north of New Lexington, closer to the Zanesville area, but not clipping that part of Muskingum County. And then we have the tornado warning down to our south. So it looks like
they're expanding that polygon.
Yes, as I say, it looks as if they are changing that polygon right now to encompass just east of Laurelville and north of Nelsonville. Any information coming out of the National Weather Service right now, Mackenzie?
With that expansion, they are just reiterating that a confirmed and very large, dangerous tornado is located within the thunderstorms over the Hocking Hills State Park, moving off to the east at 40 miles per hour. So this is the area where you want to be in that safe zone. You want to be listening to our voices because it does seem like there's that confirmation of that large tornadic threat.
So as Mackenzie mentioned, we have a confirmed large, dangerous tornado down in the Hocking Hills area. This is going to clip Nelsonville and Athens. If you are in Murray City, Nelsonville, Athens, please take this warning seriously as there is a large confirmed tornado on the ground. Putting our tracker on Nelsonville, we'll see this tornado at 8:21. The storm will roll through Athens at 8:44, then getting into Chester Hill just after 9 o'clock. I want to zoom in a little bit closer if we can to give you that street level view because this is the cell that we are tracking, and this is likely going to be the area where we're starting to see most of the rotation of the strong tornado on the ground. So if you're in the Hocking Hills region by South Bloomingville, this is the biggest threat at the moment. This is encompassing State Route 56, also the State Route 374 where it intersects there is where we have the rotation. It'll continue to push east, going to be moving towards State Route 93 and into the Hugh area with State Route 56, Orland, Ewing, Blackjack, Union, Furnace, all dealing with this tornado warning at the moment and in the path of what could be a very dangerous and strong tornado. Mackenzie mentioned before, there are a ton of trees. This is the Hocking Hills region. Beautiful, so rural, a ton of foliage. So you could see a lot of trees come down. That's going to threaten cars that are in the area that are parked in some of these cabins. So if you are in the area, try to find your safest spot. I know maybe a lot of these cabins don't even have basements, Mackenzie. So you want to find the interior room that doesn't have any windows to take shelter from this very strong, dangerous storm.
Yeah, and we are seeing a bit of that rotation continue to move off to the east of South Bloomingville, but that is where we are seeing the heart of that storm lie. And as Ashley mentioned, this is the time, you know, even if you don't have a basement, get into that interior room, a closet, a bathroom. Make sure you are protecting your head, your neck, your back, whether it's a bike helmet, taking a mattress along with you, some pillows, a cover, because we are seeing the confirmation of a very dangerous tornado within this area. And it's possible that we're taking some debris along with it. So quickly want to put on our correlation coefficient. This is where we can see the possibility of some of that debris maybe getting aloft and also twisting within that area. So this is what we're watching out for, those bright colors just north or just to the east of South Bloomingville.
Yeah, so that's going to be approaching Orland and just in the Stella area. You see the bright shades of yellow. This could be some of the debris that's being kicked up aloft into the atmosphere that would be in the center of that tornado. So showing that there is some strong circulation just to the west of Union Furnace here. And that's going to be continuously pushing towards State Route 278. So this is likely where we have the strongest rotation. And you've heard us talk about how we look for the green and the red to be touching each other. And when we look at our velocity map, we would look at for brighter colors. But what happens when you get farther away from the radar site, which this radar site is in Wilmington, Ohio, you're not going to see those bright shades quite as much just because of the angle of how the radar is sweeping this far away from the radar site. So this can be a bit deceiving given that it's not quite as bright in the green and the red, but you see that green signature right there in the middle of the red. This is where we are looking at some rotation just west of Hugh, and that is going to be moving eastward at about 40 miles per hour heading towards Hugh. So if you are in the Hugh area, Hocking Hill State Park, those need to be taking shelter immediately. All right.
And we're going to continue to see the system push off to the east. So if you're east of that area, Nelsonville, Murray City, you still are contained within that warning. So you want to make sure you are staying weather aware. That will last until about 8 o'clock tonight. So we still have 30 minutes to go of where we're watching for the possibility of that damage. We also have a traffic camera down that way. So we want to pop that up if we can to see what the conditions are like near the Logan area. So that'll be just north of this tornado warned cell. If we can get that camera, we can see what it's like. So this is what it's like in the Logan area. So far, it looks like the camera is shaking just a little bit. But also, if you're looking at your window and you see this, this is just a good reminder that even though it may look calm, we still have that tornado warned cell just south of your area. So you still want to be in that safe space. You still want to make sure you're staying weather aware because we're continuing to watch this dangerous situation just off to your south.
Yeah, and as we look at some of the reports coming out of the National Weather Service, you can see that we're talking about a tornado warning in Springfield in the Clark County area that expired, but this is the same system that's pushing eastward. Well, as I'm looking at some of the reports come in, there's some large tree limbs that were down, and they're saying that there was a tornado possible in that area. So this particular storm cell that we're tracking by Laurel and Nelsonville has a history of producing some extreme damage, and we do have confirmed reports from the National Weather Service that this is a very large and dangerous tornado in the area of Hawking Hills. So you want to take shelter if you are close to State Route 93. This is also pushing just south of Logan where we saw that camera. So that camera could have been a bit misleading because just a little bit light rain in Logan, but you go farther south through Ewing and toward Orland and Hugh, and this is likely where we're seeing most of that rotation and some heavy rain. So this could be a rain-wrapped tornado as it pushes eastward at about 30 to 40 miles per hour.
And Ashley, we do have a new tornado warning in Delaware County, so I want to take you up there if you don't mind. So this is in parts of Delaware County, just getting this new tornado warning into our area. This will continue to push off to the, looks like gently the east as we head into the next few minutes. But again, this is a tornado warning for areas including Delaware, Sunbury, even Galena. This is new in from the National Weather Service, this tornado warning. It'll last until about 8:15.
All right, so if you could do me a favor, Mackenzie, let's put the velocity map on this tornado warning because this is a very heavy populated area. So you can see the tight signature here right by Delaware, and you mentioned that this was pushing to the southeast, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so moving to the southeast. So if you're familiar with Delaware, this is going to start to move towards maybe the Sunbury outlets, closer to the Polaris area, but some tight rotation here right around the city of Delaware. This is closer to US 36, if you're familiar with that area, and will eventually be making its way towards I-71. Very heavy populated area into Delaware County. If we could put the live radar back on and get that tracker on for you, or the tracker, there we go. Here, okay, so you can see from Stratford, we still have some of the heavy rain showers. We might need to zoom out just a little bit to get that tracker on, as this will be pushing to the southeast. So this is going to be where the Tanger outlets are. It's going to push towards Galena, and this is very close to where Westerville will be, moving to the southeast. So that puts Sunbury at about 810, where this cell could move through. This is radar indicated rotation with that storm, but a new tornado warning that has popped, and this is coming off of severe storms that rolled through parts of Union County that also was under the tornado warning. So weakened a little bit, was downgraded to a severe thunderstorm warning, and now some of that circulation starting to tighten back up as it pushes into Sunbury right now. Just north of Westerville is where we have this polygon coming out of the city of Delaware. This is also the severe thunderstorm pushing up towards Ashley, Ohio, and even some heavy rain in Mount Gilead. But this is the new tornado warning that just came in for Delaware County.
Yeah, and we are seeing that the National Weather Service is seeing strengthening circulation. It's mainly at the southern end of this segment. So going to put our winds back on to kind of zoom in to where we are seeing the strongest of the rotation. And as Ashley mentioned, that is stretching through Delaware. Even through parts of Ashley could be seeing a little bit of that rotation. And we're going to be watching for that as we head into the 8:15 hour as that that tornado warning is continuing.
Yeah, so as this continues to push to the east-southeast, that's going to push towards Marengo and I-71. What was the pace of that, Mackenzie, moving southeast at what?
Right around 25 miles per hour.
25 miles per hour. So this is one of the slower storms that we've been following. It's been anywhere between about 30 to 40 miles per hour. So about 20, 25 miles per hour as that continues to push to the southeast. That's giving you time. We're giving you the heads up. If you're in Sunbury, you want to take shelter right now as there is rotation pushing off the heart of Delaware County in Delaware, close to US 23, and that's going to continue to push to the southeast. So normally we're looking for a little hook on the back end of that, not quite as transparent, but when you put the velocity map on, you definitely can see the brighter shades. So that's pushing up more so towards Ashley right now. Let's take a live look at Delaware, and this is from Ohio Wesleyan University, I believe. If we can take a look at those live pictures. All right, just so bear with us for a second. There we go. So the rain coming down at the moment there, kind of a tight shot of the campus there, so it's hard to see what the sky cover is, but rain is coming down. So you're going to see some heavy rain out of the system, plus the possibility of some rotation.
Yes, and that's not the only system that we're watching out for. We have this tornado warning for parts of Delaware, including Sunbury and Galena. That will last until about 8:15, but if we head just off to the south, let's check on that tornado warning. This was in near the Hocking Hills area. They're still seeing that warning that we're going to continue to watch for as we head into the right around the 7:45 time frame. So about 4 minutes left on that warning, and we're continuing to see if the National Weather Service will continue that. Let's take a look and see if we are seeing any winds within that, and still seeing a little bit of rotation. This is mainly closer towards Hugh, just off to the south of Hillsborough. So continuing to watch for a little bit of rotation. I know one of our news crew just reached out to the EMA director there, so they're watching out. They said plenty of damage within the area, seeing a little bit of rotation. So we're continuing to keep an eye on a few of those EMA directors to see what they're seeing at surface level. But again, still have that tornado warning. And with our latest scan, it does look like some of that rotation has weakened. What we like to see in these systems. So hopefully we'll get an update here in the next 4 or 5 minutes that it has expired. And we are continuing that. We are seeing a tornado warning for Adams and Highland County now setting to expire. So we like to see that.
All right, good news, Mackenzie. Okay, a couple things we want to touch base on. I believe we have an ODOT camera along I-71 just south of Marengo. Maybe we can take a look at that, given that this is close to the area of that tornado warning that's up towards Delaware County, so we can see what the conditions are along I-71. So dark skies, rain is coming down at a pretty heavy rate with that ODOT camera that you see on the right side of your screen. This is also the matching radar, so not too far from that area. Tornado warning until 8 o'clock for parts of Delaware County, even stretching to about 8:15 as you get a little bit farther off to our east. So some rotation in that area. I was also trying to scour while you were talking, Mackenzie, on our social media site to see if we could see pictures of damage. Of course, if you're in the warning at the moment, you want to take shelter. But if you are past some of these strong storms and it's starting to calm down, if there's damage in your area, please make sure to send it to us here at 10 TV, and we'll be able to show you what we are following across central Ohio. But let's broaden this out, because I'm taking another look that you can't see on air right now of the state, and we have 3 active tornado warnings and several severe thunderstorm warnings. So there's the one down to our south here until 8 o'clock. Delaware County, that goes until, I believe it was about 8:15, 8:30. Yes. And then we have a new one that's popping off to our far east outside of our viewing area, but that is going to be crossing Interstate 77 just south of Cambridge. So that encompasses Buffalo. So south of Cambridge under that tornado warning there. But we do have another severe storm warning that's off to our west that's crossing I-75. And so once we get that lull west of Columbus, we're going to potentially have another round of storms that's going to start to roll through as that crosses I-75. So earlier we had tornado warnings in Clark and Champaign counties. You can see it's dry now there, but we have this next line that'll be rolling in. Let's zoom back into Delaware County, because like I said, this is the most dense population of the tornado warning that we have had so far. That's going to be moving towards Galena. So right now, the leading edge of that storm was crossing I-71, and we have the rotation that is now northeast of Delaware. This is closer to Marengo and Ashley. So we looked at that ODOT camera. We saw some ominous skies, and there's some rotation right now just east of US 42, north of State Route 521, and west of I-71. This is the closest street level view that we can give you to show you the pinpoint spot of where we have rotation from Ashley to Marengo, the potential for a tornado to be on the ground in this area. If you're anywhere in Ashley or Marengo, you need to take shelter immediately, as there is some strong rotation within this tornado warning up into Delaware County.
Yep, and this is expected to last until about 8:15, so we still have about 30 minutes to go, and we're continuing to see that system push off to the east. With our latest scan, We'll put another little segment on this for you, another little tracker, so you can see where this is going. Again, pushing off to the east, southeast, right around 25 miles per hour. So going to continue moving off to the east there as we continue to track this system.
All right, so let's zoom back out. We've been focusing on Delaware County. Maybe we can take you a little bit farther south again, where we still have that active warning down closer to the Hocking Hills region, where we had a confirmed tornado on the ground. This is now east of State Route 93. And we have one of our 10 TV crews headed that way to assess any of the damage that's down in that area. This will continue to push, though, into Nelsonville, south of Murray City. So Nelsonville's in the track for this strong storm to roll through. Any new updates coming out of the National Weather Service with that tornado, or are we still just saying that it's still on the ground there?
It's, you know, still the possibility of that being on the ground. I know one of our news crew reached out to the EMA just recently. They didn't see anything as of that moment, any confirmed tornado touching the ground when we checked with them about 5 minutes ago, but again, they saw some rotation within the area, so still going to be watching out for the possibility of that as we continue to watch this until about 8 o'clock if we get any new updates.
All right, and then if we can go ahead and take a look at the tornado watch, because I know we have a couple isolated incidents right now of the tornado warnings, but all of central Ohio still remains under that tornado watch. And this has since expanded off to the east of the state line, just south of Pittsburgh. So from Marietta off to the state line of Indiana, all these counties in yellow under a tornado watch until 10 o'clock tonight. If we put live radar back on, you can see that we call these popcorn kind of storms because they're popping all over the place. We have tornado warnings to our southeast, our north, and our far east, along with severe thunderstorm warnings that are kind of on the tail end of this, trailing it. And we've seen the history with these be tornado warnings downgraded to severe thunderstorm warnings, and then we'll see a tornado warning pop back up ahead of that system. So up towards Delaware, this is really just clipping the eastern part of Delaware County, where we have that particular tornado warning that's going to impact Sunbury and Galena. This is getting closer to what we would say would be like the Sunbury outlets. If you're looking at I-71 right here, closer to US 36, that is where we have a lot of new homes being built as well in Sunbury, Ohio, and then Galena. So that's going to continue to push to the east. This one was a little bit slower at about 25 miles per hour. Let's travel a little bit farther south, if we can, just to show you the other tornado warning that we have down in the Hocking Hills region. That one's still active. This could potentially be dropping some really large hail, too. This is what we would call one of our hail trackers, and you can see the path of this. Now, I'm a little bit pessimistic that that's hail. That could even be some debris if there was a tornado on the ground. So we could have seen some debris being picked up on our radar sweep that thought it was hail. But this showing a half-inch size hail. So it's either hail or debris that rolled through south of Laurelville, pushing eastward, and even some hail up towards New Lexington. So these are tracks that could possibly be hail or debris with some of the tornado warnings that we have been following. Some of the tornadoes might not even be confirmed until tomorrow when survey teams go out there. But if you are in these areas like New Lexington, Lancaster, Laurelville, you need to be very weather alert, as we have been tracking a few warnings. Let's go ahead and put radar back on there. Nelsonville. Okay, and we have a live picture from so we have a live picture from 71 closer to Sunbury, where we have this tornado warning. And you can see a lot of those semis are parked on the side of the freeway. Great move by those that are driving those high profile vehicles, because when you have those very gusty winds and the threat for tornadoes, you can see some of those semi trucks that could be toppled over. So a lot of those semi trucks are pulled off to the side. We have a dark cloud. Not sure if that is quite a shelf cloud that is off in the distance there as you take a look at that ODOT camera, but definitely dark clouds over I-71. And this is, let's see here, Dustin Road. It's a rest area off I-71 close to Sunbury. So that's a live look at our ODOT camera in this particular area that's under that tornado warning. So some heavy rain coming down as well. And this is pushing closer to State Route 61, just pushing east of I-71 at the moment.
And we did have one of our news crew reach out to the Delaware County Sheriff's Office. So far, there has been no reports of damage. Again, something that, you know, if we do see damage within this area, will likely be when this warning expires. But thankfully, we've seen no reports of damage within this area. If we turn on our winds, it does seem like we are seeing a little bit of broadening and weakening with this. Still a little bit of rotation possible just to the west of East Liberty. But as the system continues to approach Sunbury, not really seeing any of that tight rotation, the greens and the reds touching, which is something that is possible when we have that tornadic possibility. But again, still watching the system for the next 15-20 minutes while it is under that tornado warning.
So yeah, this is until about 8:15 for those that are up in the Delaware County area. Though when we've been putting our velocity map on, it almost appears as if some of that rotation's been just north of that tornado warned cell. But we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that encompasses Marengo. So even that severe thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado, even if it's not considered a tornado warning. That severe thunderstorm warning stretches all the way north towards Ashley. We don't have any warnings down towards Westerville, Powell, and along the I-270 outer belt right now, but we do have some that are off to the east of Columbus and south of Columbus as well. A lot of lightning strikes that have been on the map. We've taken that off so you can see the heavy rain, but off towards Zanesville is where we have you know, some heavy showers coming down, maybe some hail, and then this is that next tornado warning that's pushing out of our area south of Cambridge, but this is just north of Caldwell. So for Guernsey, Muskingum, and Noble counties until 8:15. Some of our far southern counties, though, we have this tornado warning that's still active for the Nelsonville area, and then we have Chillicothe under severe thunderstorm warning, and also down towards Waverly, Ohio, where we have severe thunderstorm warnings with some heavy rain, gusty winds, and the potential for some large damaging hail to roll through the area. Now that one for Waverly is just clipping the northern edge of that polygon for the severe thunderstorm warning. That one actually stretches almost as far south as Portsmouth, as this next system is going to push through just east of Peebles and moving towards Valley and Waverly, that whole line. And this is the area that we look at where that line starts to bow out a little bit, where the wind gusts are probably the strongest. So that moves into Valley at 8:14, Gregg's at 8:17, and Harrison Furnace at 8:46.
And that's the thing, even though you were not maybe seeing a tornado warning within this area, still some very strong damaging winds on the apex of this bow. So for folks closer towards Valley, definitely make sure you are staying weather aware, as some of those damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour could reach your area. Another update on that tornado warning that is close to the Hocking Hills area. The National Weather Service is mentioning that even though we are continuing to watch out for this system until about 8 o'clock, this system has been known to produce a confirmed tornado, and there's still the possibility of some rotation as this moves off to the east. So again, that is going to be closer towards Nelsonville, even Union Furnace, that is including areas near New Floodwood. So it is possible that within this system that could produce a tornado and generate another at another time, because it is known that history of that.
All right, the one that was up towards Sunbury, I'm reading that kind of picked up pace a little bit. So that's now moving at about 40 miles per hour. No surprise that they have now put a severe thunderstorm warning ahead of that, pushing into Johnstown. So if you're in Utica, Johnstown, you are now under a severe thunderstorm warning. You might look out your window, not see a whole lot going on, some light rain, because that's what's indicated right here on our radar sweep. But this is what's heading your way. So if we can put an eastward track at about 40 miles per hour towards Utica, then we will get an idea of just when we're going to start to see this time out. So Sunbury will start to see this at 7:57, and then we need to probably get that line tracker on and then push that out towards St. Louisville there. And towards Utica, there we go, and push that out even farther. All right, let's see what the timing of this is as it pushes to the east southeast. So there we go, Sunbury 7:53, Utica 8:29, and Newcastle at 8:43, timing out this severe storm. So ahead of this tornado warning, they have put a severe thunderstorm warning, but this is for a severe thunderstorm that's capable of producing a tornado, given the history that there's been some rotation in the Sunbury area with this storm. And we're getting new radar sweeps as this goes along. So we could even be seeing some hail starting to cross I-71 right now as you just get north of Sunbury. So it's not picking up on our hail tracker, but the other sweep that shows the gray would indicate maybe some hail, if not even debris in that area, given that we've had tornado warnings popping. But it does look as if this is maybe weakening a little bit towards Sunbury and Galena.
It does, and as we turn back on our radar, Ashley, as you've been mentioning, with these systems that have a little bit of that bowing, we could see some straight line wind damage out ahead of that. So something that maybe the National Weather Service is watching out for as well. Again, haven't had any reports of damage in that area right now, but we're continuing to watch the possibility of this tornado warning. Could again see some rotation within this. As we just looked at our latest wind velocity velocity map, you can
I want
see.
to point this out right
Yeah.
here. So this is actually under severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning, but that could be because of maybe just some light rotation in the upper atmosphere, not making it quite to the surface. But this would be for a severe thunderstorm that's capable of producing a tornado, given that there is a little bit of rotation just west of Sparta. If we put live radar on back in the same area by Marengo, you can see where we have possible hail in that area as well. So we're probably tracking some hail and some heavy rain now that that's pushing east of I-71 with these different warnings that we're tracking. I mean, the radar is really lit up in all kinds of colors right now.
Yeah, and even if you're not under that tornado warned cell, we are seeing plenty of severe thunderstorm warnings surrounding it. And I do want to make mention that it does seem like that tornado warning has moved out of Delaware itself. So now just including parts of Sunbury and Galena, that tornado warning. And then as we head off to the north, Marengo, even parts of Centersburg, Sparta, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, but the possibility of this damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, the hail, all possible as we continue to see these storms shift off to the east. And Ashley's mentioned it picked up a bit, so we are continuing to see that also move off to the east at 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, so we have a broad view of just the severe threat that we have in this area, downgrading from the tornado warning, but a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings that are stretching from Sunbury, Galena, all the way well north of Mount Vernon. This has also been in the Marengo area, so we have a live look outside of that area along I-71 and State Route 61. So some dark skies, rain coming down in that area right now. If you look real closely at this ODOT camera, I want to point out that you can almost see those semi-trucks kicking up quite a bit of water in that center lane of I-71. So as those cars go by, we could be dealing with some localized flooding. That's what we're dealing with some of these heavy rain showers that are rolling through as well. So let's see here.
And we have seen the tornado warning for Delaware has expired. It does seem like in a whole that tornado warning is now clear of the area, just kind of clustered by severe thunderstorm warnings. And then taking you down to the south, Ashley, it does seem like the tornado warning for Hawking has expired, but we still have a few lasting tornado warnings within that area.
Yep. So we have this one that's pushing into Athens right now. Tornado warning. The heart of this storm has produced some tornadoes on the back end of it as it's been moving into Vinton. Okay, and then moving into Vinton County. So we have Hawking County Emergency Management on the line. If we could go ahead and bring them up and see what they have to say.
Bob Salazzoni is on the line from Hawking County EMA Director. Bob, can you hear us? Bob.
Andrew, if you could go ahead and mention that again. I think your mic, go ahead and say it again.
Well, yeah, actually, we have Boz Salazzoni, Hawking County EMA Director. You were always speaking earlier about the confirmed tornado in that area. We wanted to check in and get conditions on the ground there. Boz, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good evening, sir. Can you give us an update on the conditions, what you're seeing, and the reports that you've gotten into at this hour?
At this moment, we do not have a confirmed visual of any tornado. We do have high winds and we do have debris on the roads. So we are severely warning residents to please stay home, stay in their homes, or get to their homes to a safe space and stay indoors until the storm passes.
Boz, any reports of any outages or downed trees in your area at this time, or is it too early to get out and check on that?
We have just started getting some people out on the southern side of the county are looking for downed trees, but we do have debris on the roads. We do have limbs down throughout the county on the southern side. So it is very important for people to stay home and stay off the roads at this moment.
Yeah, Boz, our weather team has been tracking this for the greater part of 30 minutes now. When did you all start seeing the rain and the wind pick up there in your area?
You know, so we
started seeing.
Go ahead.
We started seeing the wind pick up around 7:15 and 7:30, and it's kind of hit pretty hard, pretty fast.
And Boz, did you hear that noise that a lot of people usually refer to, a train noise at all?
No, we have not heard any of that.
Okay.
Boz, I know that one of the details that came out of the National Weather Service was that the possible tornado, the storm that was capable of producing a tornado, was located near Lake Hope State Park. Have you heard of any kind of damage in that area?
Not at this moment.
Okay, and then there was also some in the Hocking Hill State Park area that was a confirmed, coming out of the National Weather Service, said a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado in the Hocking Hill State Park area. So you said that you haven't seen a visual, but you have had some really gusty winds, correct?
That is correct. We have not confirmed any visuals at all. We have not seen any funnels or anything like that. No loud train noises, nothing like that.
Now, how has the rain or hail situation been in your area?
I have not. I am inside of Logan right now, and I have not seen any hail. Now, south of us may have gotten some. I cannot confirm that. I do have someone going into that area right now to confirm damages, but until I get a report back, I cannot report to that.
All right, Bob Salazzoni, Hocking County EMA Director, we appreciate your time, and we'll check back in with you later to get an update on the conditions there. We do appreciate it, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Andrew and Boz, for giving us that tidbit. We're going to kind of backtrack and bring you back to the beginning of this timeline. And so this happened just after about 6 o'clock or so, where we saw a confirmed tornado come out of Miami County in Tip City. And this picture was taken by Micah Whitworth. We also had some video coming out of Miami County from Micah as well. You can see that funnel cloud. So this has been confirmed in Miami County. There was damage done there. Reports coming in from the National Weather Service. You see that there on your screen right now, the video from Micah, in which a roof was torn off a Meijer in that area. There was a flipped over car. So these cells started off in the western part of the state and continued to fuel as they were moving through central Ohio and now pushing off to our east, but still within the eastern part of central Ohio. But that video, very impressive, out of Miami County just after 6 o'clock or so in Tip City, where we are getting reports of damage as well. Now, the National Weather Service did say that they had a very dangerous tornado in Hocking County. As we were speaking with Boz, he hasn't seen the visual of that yet, but of course, people that have been in that area, we hope that they've been taking shelter, because we've had that tornado warning that's been continuing, now pushing a little bit farther to the east. So as we zoom in closer, as I believe this might be our only tornado warning that is left at this moment, but it doesn't include Athens. So this is going to continue to push out of Vinton into Athens. A lot of lightning strikes on the map as this crosses State Route 550 moving eastward. So Athens, Vinton counties under that tornado warning until about 8:30. This was issued just before 8 o'clock. So just about 10 minutes ago is when that tornado warning was updated and issued south of Nelsonville to include Athens. That's going to move towards Decatur and eventually towards Marietta. But the heart of that hitting Athens in less than 10 minutes at 8:10. But that'll be pushing out of our area. So let's go ahead and zoom out to show you the different strong storms that we're tracking at this hour that could still cause damage in your neighborhood, even though they are not tornado warnings. That's the only tornado warning we still have, but we have severe thunderstorm warnings up into Mount Vernon. This is also clipping the northern part of Licking County. So some light rain towards Newark. But if you're just in the Mount Vernon area, just west of here, is where we have a line of some heavy showers that will roll through, crossing US 36 and eventually making its way towards Mount Vernon and maybe clipping the tail end of that, clipping Utica. That severe thunderstorm warning until 9 o'clock. As we put our tracker on here, we are going to start to see that push into Utica around 8:31 and Newcastle maybe about 10 to 15 minutes before 9 o'clock. We have some moderate to heavier showers, though, that are down by Plain City into Delaware, close to the county line of Delaware and Franklin County. That's not storm warned, but we're going to be dealing with some heavy rain rolling through Dublin shortly. But the severe thunderstorm warning by Sunbury, Galena, up towards Sparta, that line is going to be crossing 36 shortly and approaching Utica shortly as well. We can zoom out a little bit more because that's not our only severe thunderstorm warning that we are tracking right now. We go a little bit farther south into Chillicothe and down towards Portsmouth. So our southern counties being clipped with this line of storms across US 23. A lot of that crossing US 23 as we speak, eastward of 23 if you're in the Chillicothe area. So we could definitely be seeing parts of Pickaway, Ross County getting some of these strong storms, and that's going to go down to Scioto County as well. Eastward, though, Porter getting this at 8:12, Cole at 8:33, Athens just around 9 o'clock. And that's going to be the second wave for Athens, because as you notice, Athens right now under that tornado warning, but then we have the second round of storms that will roll through after that. Okay, we have a live picture right now just south of Athens. This is US 33, right close to Pleasant Hill Road. And I want you to take a look at this. So you can see that shelf cloud that is right above the tree line with this US 33 camera that we have. If we could take that full for just a moment so folks can see that. The shelf cloud is usually, that is the leading edge of a thunderstorm. We had some really great shelf cloud photos that came out of the storms from Monday. So if you start to see that approach you, you're going to deal with the gusty winds before that heavy rain moves in. So if you're looking at the surface here along US 33, doesn't look like they've been impacted by the rain yet. You usually get those damaging winds before the rain starts to filter in on the back edge of that storm.
And that's what we watch out for, those storm clouds kind of lowering, and that is where we could see a little bit of that rotation, and that's why we are seeing this tornado warning for that area. I do want to talk about a few damage reports that we have seen. This is mainly in Delaware County, so we did have that tornado warning cell in that region. That has now allowed to expire, and now just have a few surrounding severe thunderstorm warnings as we take you up closer towards Delaware County, even folks in Mount Vernon. We have had a report of an 8-inch healthy tree uprooted. That is along State Route 37 in East Delaware. Also, a few reports of a large branch from a willow tree snapped. So it does seem like right now we're getting a lot of reports of some downed trees. Could take down some power lines and also do damage to homes. But those are a few of those reports that we're continuing to see. Again, Delaware County, you are no longer under that tornado warning, but we do have a few severe thunderstorm warnings. That includes folks in Mount Vernon, stretching down through Sunbury, even Centersburg, dealing with a lot of rain. And you're kind of on the cusp of some of that very heavy wind that we're seeing. And again, on the apex of what we're seeing, I'm going to outline this for you right here. So stretching through Mount Vernon as this continues to push off to the east, that's where we could have some of that very damaging gust. And as we put a bit of a track on that, that'll continue pushing off to the east. So Utica going to be in your neighborhood right around 8:40. It'll continue moving towards Newcastle right before the 9 o'clock hour. We do have this tornado watch in place. This is for mainly folks south of I-70. This will last until about 10 o'clock tonight, but as we've seen with a lot of these systems, we continue to see these storms kind of fall apart. So good news there is that a lot of this is continuing to push off to the east of I-71, where these storms are continuing to fall apart, and just seeing a few severe thunderstorm warnings. Down near Chillicothe, we continue to see that severe thunderstorm warning. It does seem like they are reissuing a severe thunderstorm warning for folks in the Waverly and Portsmouth area. Again, that is for this cell that's continuing to pass by quickly. And a lot of these cells moving by very fast, so they'll get out of here as we continue throughout the night, hopefully allowing everything to expire by 9-10 o'clock this evening, along with that tornado watch that we do have in place.
Yeah, so we had that severe thunderstorm warning that had popped off to our west, and we were worried that that could pick up some steam. That has since expired, but we still have that stronger storm that's passing Troy. What happens is we've had a few ingredients throughout the day. We always say that sunshine and heat, not necessarily your friend when we are anticipating low pressure or cold front to come in and create, the instability for some thunderstorms. So the heat that you have and the sunshine helps fuel that. So we knew that these were going to really start to pop throughout the afternoon and evening because we had such a beautiful day. But once that rain rolls through, that kind of sucks the energy out of the atmosphere. So what we're dealing with off to our west, even though this is still a rather strong storm with a lot of lightning strikes off by Troy, as this begins to push closer to Union, Madison counties, we're not anticipating that to be quite as severe as what we were tracking earlier that rolled through that area. Still those severe thunderstorm warnings, though, that are clipping the northern part of Licking County up towards Mount Vernon. That one is still currently in effect, and you can see some of that lightning just east of I-71. So those are severe thunderstorm warnings that we are still tracking that will clip Utica and Mount Vernon. That is what is currently on your screen there. Let's go ahead and do a broader view if we can, because we just have the heavier rain in Mount Vernon. So east of Muskingum County, severe thunderstorm warning. That's pushing out of our area down by Chillicothe, and then once again towards Portsmouth. I think that they just kind of cut back that polygon. It was a little bit broader, so they've narrowed it down, as Mackenzie mentioned, moving pretty fast. But you can start to see how that line is bowing out. So from Waverly down towards Portsmouth, the apex, we call that, which would be the point. Think of like a bow and arrow when you're pulling that back. This is where we have the peak of the arch, and that's where the winds are going to be the strongest if you were actually with a bow and arrow and you shoot that arrow out. So the strongest winds right here with this system will be closer to 776. So if you have family, friends south of Waverly, this is the area that's going to be impacted most. Putting our tracker on as it moves east, this will move into South Webster right around 8:18, Thurman at 8:52, and then that's really pushing out of our viewing area. So that's what we're tracking at the moment down to our south. But it looks like we're getting a flash up into the north part of the screen there. You can see by Alexander, they're expanding that severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, I think kind of just in preparation of this Boeing cell that you had mentioned not too long ago, that we're continuing to see the severe thunderstorm warning has now moved out of parts of Chillicothe, but continues to move closer towards Vinton and even Albany and even parts of Athens. So they're just kind of preparing folks ahead of this storm that we are seeing. A lot of frequent lightning. Going to turn that off so we can kind of get a better view. Laurelaville, just south view, included in that severe thunderstorm warning as the system continues to push off to the east. Let's put a little bit of a track on this, because not only are we seeing those wind speeds up to about 60 miles per hour, but also the possibility of some hail within that, and even the chance for that damaging wind. This will continue moving towards Vinton right around 8:30, Lee right around 8:57, and then Athens just before the 9 o'clock hour. It does seem like we're having a lot of reports also in that area of tree limbs down, and even maybe the possibility of some flooding issues.
Yes. So once again, can you put the information on that tornado warning up, Mackenzie, so I can take a look at that? So for Athens, that tornado warning that we're tracking goes until 9 o'clock, but that's for Athens, Meigs, and Vinton County. So you've got to stay, with us for a little while. We want to make sure that you're safe down into that area. As we've been looking at our velocity map, it does look like there could be some rotation throughout Athens, as we have the bright shades of red and green touching each other right in the heart of Athens. So that's what we're looking at down to our south. Otherwise, we just have some severe thunderstorm warnings that continue to pop, especially for parts of Licking County. Mackenzie, as you're looking at some of those storm photos, I'm going to go ahead and drive this radar for a second. So we'll give you a break on the radar, and you can look and see what we have coming in. Because if we do have some storm photos and you can do it safely, we'd love to see what you are tracking at the moment in your neighborhood. So here's a look at live radar as we've been, here, let me get that little red box out of the way there for you. All right. Okay, so here's a look at live radar. So Mount Vernon's the area that's getting some of the stronger storms at the moment. And then I want to put lightning on just so you can see how much lightning we're tracking. So not as much lightning with that storm up towards Mount Vernon. This is just east of Delaware. You're just going to get some heavy rain. Now, I shouldn't say just heavy rain, because when you get that pocket of really heavy rain in a short amount of time, we could be dealing with some flash flooding. So if you're going to be out on the roads, I encourage you not to be up in that area. But if you are, if you see standing water, you want to turn around, don't drown. It's very serious, as it only takes a little bit of water to move a vehicle when you get flash flooding concerns. So no flash flood warnings coming out at the moment, but we could have the potential of seeing that. Now, out of Delaware, we're getting new information coming from a local storm report in Delaware County. At right around 7:40, so about a half hour ago, an 8-inch healthy tree was uprooted. So that came from radar. So we've had several reports coming in of different trees that have been falling. I know that there was the one that came in out of Adams and Highland County that was about 5 inches in diameter of a tree limb on the road. So some big trees that have been affected by this system. But you can see a very wide, broad range of severe thunderstorm warnings that are stretching pretty much from US 23 down to our south towards Athens, with that just tail end of the east edge of that. Under the tornado warning, you get east of Muskingum County, a couple more severe thunderstorm warnings popping there. And then just to the northeast of Columbus is where we have that Mount Vernon storm that's rolling through the area, putting lightning back on. Most of the lightning, though, is now tracking down to our southeast. Let's go ahead and put our lightning tracker on to just tell you how many lightning strikes that we have in the area in that region. So you can see the lightning there. And then as we go ahead and draw this, you can notice that we have 160 lightning strikes pretty much along and south of I-70. But the only tornado warning that we are following at this time is down by Athens. So that's what we're tracking at this time, though we did see a confirmed tornado come out of Miami County earlier. This is another look at that system. But things are starting to weaken a little bit. Any storm reports that you see coming in?
We're seeing a lot of photos out of that Tip City tornado, which did do damage to that Meyer building. It completely ripped the roof off of that. So far, it looks like a lot of tree damage here across parts of central Ohio, maybe even the possibility for some flooding, especially for counties near the Ohio River. We did have that storm report in Delaware of a healthy tree uprooted, doing damage to that area. Beyond that, it seems like a lot of that. I wonder if we could take one of our weather bug cameras. We have one down in the Athens
area at Ohio University. Yeah, so if we could possibly pop up our weather bug. Okay, yeah, it's out of our weather bug computer. We have some heavy rain coming down. You can see that. So right now, just some trees that are swaying with some heavy rain coming down. But if we were to double box that and show you what our radar is also indicating in that exact same area, this is our velocity map that we are going to show you in just a moment, where we have a tight signature of some rotation just to the east of Athens. So you're looking a live look at Ohio University, but we have a storm capable of producing a tornado within the Athens area, and some rotation that is being pulled up on our radar just to the east southeast of Athens. And so once we are able to get that up, you'll be able to see where that rotation is. So it is just to the east southeast of Athens. I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit closer, so once we get that pulled up, people will be able to see more of a street level view of what we have there. So Longview Heights and Cannonville, it will be the area that's going to be impacted by that tight rotation as that pushes through the Athens area.
And this is the same cell that did produce, or at least we have a report that did produce, a very strong system earlier on this evening. So again, there's still the possibility that we could see some rotation within this. And we've been talking about this all evening, but as we just took a look at that video from that live picture from Athens, so many trees down in that region. We are getting our latest AP power outages. So 473 customers in Fairfield County are reporting power outages, also scattered in other areas surrounding that. You can take a look at your screen here, where we are seeing the more dense power outages.
Yeah, so for like South Central power outages, including Fairfield County, there's over 17,000 outages in Fairfield County, about 1,400 in Franklin County, just over 1,000 in Hawking County, which you have to remember that's a little bit less densely populated. Perry County, just over 600, Vinton County over 300, and about 300 in Ross County. So altogether, several thousand are without power at this time because of the system that rolled through. And you can see that map on your screen that indicates the power outages possibly in your area. Those bigger circles with red would indicate the bigger areas, 5,000 plus that are without power. So this is a map brought to you by AEP. All right, so let's go back to live radar. As we've been telling you all evening long that we could have some severe storms rolling through the area, some strong gusty winds and some heavy rain. Lightning at the moment, as I mentioned, mainly off to our southeast. As we zoom out, Mackenzie, it looks as if they have expired that tornado warning. I just want to confirm this with the National Weather Service, but I believe that tornado warning that was down to the south has since expired. So that's good news. So folks, you can see that we have a few severe thunderstorm warnings that are still lingering. This one here that is clipping parts of Mount Vernon, also the northern part of Licking County, that's kind of being pulled back. So Knox County and the very northeastern part of Licking County will remain under a severe thunderstorm warning until about 9 o'clock. But those wind gusts are no greater than 60 miles per hour. So I'm going to give you one more look at radar and as we just regroup. But now that all the tornado warnings have expired, I want to be able to take you back to your regularly scheduled program. We'll, of course, be in our Doppler 10 Weather Center monitoring these storms as they continue to push through and weaken as they move to the east. We appreciate you staying with your Doppler 10 weather team to get your severe weather alerts. We'll continue to be with you on air and online as we get new information coming in. But we're going to take you back to your regularly scheduled programming.